Hey there, it's been a while, but I'm finally back to talk Degrassi. So hello to all of you broomheads. Do any of y'all have that one scene of Degrassi that you just always skip because it's just too much for you sometimes? Or that one scene that really makes you cry no matter what? Or just gives you the general feels? Well, I sure do, and today's video is a list of the top 15 most emotional Degrassi moments. These are going to be pretty much in chronological order. These are either scenes that I skip, or scenes that freak me out, or scenes that make me tear up a little bit. Oh, and by the way, there are spoilers throughout this whole entire list, so if you don't want any spoilers from DJH until Degrassi The Next Generation season 14, then don't watch this. Number 1, when Wheels' parents die, and very shortly after he has that dream where he gets up in the middle of the night and they're coming in the door from the movies. This is sort of a dream where they hadn't been hit on the way home. So they're coming in and Wheels says, "I thought you were dead." And his parents go, "We are dead." That just freaks me out, man. That like gives me the chills. That is so creepy. Number 2, in Degrassi Junior High, when Wheels runs away to Port Hope and his grandmother finally finds him and he starts to run off again and she just screams at him and says, "You selfish, selfish little boy." And the way her like voice cracks, that just always gets me too. It's so sad. I feel really bad for Wheels' grandmother. Number 3, Degrassi Junior High. The last episode of the last season where they're at the dance and the school catches fire and the school burns down and all the kids are in the front yard just watching it, and then the explosion happens. Like, I don't know why that's so sad to me, but it always makes me go, It's a very powerful finale, series finale. Number 4, the whole storyline, the whole before and after of Erica's abortion in Degrassi High. I am really feeling her the whole time, and you know, she has a lot of breakdowns, and every time she starts to cry, it just makes me want to cry. It might be because I'm in love with Erica, but who knows. Number 5, man, like I always have to skip this one, okay? This is Degrassi High when LD finds out she has cancer. And she's telling Lucy that she's got cancer and just like, she's crying and sobbing and it's really intense. It's really powerful. Props to LD's actor for what she did because that was very sad. And I honestly do have to skip it a lot because it just brings me down. Number 6, Degrassi High. This might be on everybody's list. It was Claude's suicide. And it really wasn't so much losing Claude, but it was about seeing Snake find him and also seeing the aftermath of like what it did to the whole school. Whether the kids knew him or not, you know, it had an influence on a lot of people, and especially seeing what Caitlin was going through and her conversations with Joey afterwards, you could really see how she was truly feeling about it. Number 7, this is the last one from Degrassi High, and it is one of the last moments of the last episode of Degrassi High, and this is when Tabby goes up to Dwayne and says, "Hey shorty, do you want to dance?" If you guys don't remember, Dwayne has HIV and everyone in the school knows, and he decides he's still going to go to the dance anyway, and everybody is staring at him and avoiding him and talking crap about him. And then Tabby, at first she was not going to be his friend anymore, but then she finally decided this isn't that serious, so she goes up and asks him to dance, and he says, "I'd love to," and then they dance, and that's the end. Oh my god. Number 8, from Degrassi, School's Out. This is the famous scene. Everybody knows about this. When Caitlin finds out what Joey's been doing all summer with Tessa Campanelli. It is funny and shocking and everything, but when you really look into Caitlin's eyes and like really sympathize with her, it's truly heartbreaking. And I know that that scene is just a big joke to most people, but when you you know, take away all the cuss words that shock everybody and really think about how Caitlin feels and look at her face and stuff. It's really sad. Okay, now we are in Degrassi The Next Generation. The first episode, Mother and Child Reunion, when Spike and Snake find Emma in the hotel room with her predator, and the door opens and Snake grabs that guy and slams him against the wall and says, "I'll break your neck." Like, that's the only time where Snake was really, really tough, and I liked it, and I was like, oh. Number 10, also from The Next Generation, of course, is the beginning of season 3, in which Emma finally finds her dad, Shane, and learns the truth about him. It's heavy, it's intense, it's necessary, and I think it's fantastic that there's so much of the old Degrassi intertwined in the new Degrassi, but I have to skip that episode a lot too because it's very depressing and sad. And most of the time I like to keep it lighthearted because I'm watching Degrassi while I'm getting ready for work or something like that. Number 11 is Ellie's self-harm storyline. It's not easy to watch. It's a very good and important storyline, but it is very sad. How many times have I said sad in this video? I don't know. Number 12 is Marco is going to meet all the friends at the hockey game, and he gets off at the wrong stop at the bus and is walking to the hockey game, and these guys beat him up. It's not that moment, but it's the moment where Jimmy comes up and finds him and hugs him, and Marco is crying, and Jimmy is like, "I'm not going anywhere, okay? I've got you. Everything's going to be okay." And I'm just like, Number 13 from Degrassi The Next Generation is, of course, another monumental moment. It is the shooting. And also Rick's funeral is really hard for me too, seeing his mother and everything surrounding it. Like when JT decided he would go with Toby to the funeral and all of this is so heavy, man. Number 14. In season 5, when Emma is struggling with her eating disorder, and when things are like coming to a climax and her family confronts her and Emma tries to run out the door, and Manny steps in front of her and won't let her leave, and she says, "Please, Emma, if you don't stop, you're gonna die." And then that moment specifically is what really like makes the tears well up. For some reason, that one gets me. Bless you. I just love their friendship, and this was a beautiful moment in showing how strong it really is. Number 15 is JT's death, and it's really not so much him getting stabbed and him falling down, but the thing that really starts to get me is, bless you, is where Liberty finds him and she starts screaming, and it's that like screeching. It's just, that's when the tears would start to come, you know? I don't know why, but it was a lot. Trying not to say intense and heavy and sad so much. How's that going? Number 16 is Darcy's rape storyline. Basically the whole thing from beginning to end. Well, there's really no end, but when she finally starts to feel like herself again. That whole stretch is beautifully done, beautifully written, beautifully acted. I can empathize with Darcy a lot. I think that was a very powerful storyline. Number 17 is from the stupid movie Degrassi Goes Hollywood. It was stupid, but it's part of the story, so, you know, we gotta watch it. This scene that is most emotional for me is when Ellie, the whole thing with Ellie and avoiding her dad in the hospital, and when that sort of comes to a culmination and she starts drinking and then she starts wandering into the ocean in all of her clothes, I think that's a beautiful scene, and it's so sad. You can feel the sadness. Did I say they're 17 or 18? Because they're actually 18, okay? Sorry about that. The final most emotional scene, bless you, my cat has a sneeze. The final most emotional scene for me on this list is Cam's death. Now, while Cam's situation leading up to his suicide was really sad for me, like seeing him break his own arm, making himself throw up to avoid practice, cutting his hand with his skates and everything. That was really sad, but I didn't feel too connected to him as a character. But the thing that was most sad for me about this suicide is when Eli found Cam in the greenhouse and seeing his face, and that his first reaction was to keep Claire from seeing it. I don't even like Claire, but I thought that was beautiful, and it just made me love Eli all the more. And it always gives me too. Okay, so we made it through this list without crying too much. Now, I made this list kind of a while ago, and I've only watched Next Class in season 15 once through. So I didn't feel fully prepared to add pieces from those seasons to my list. But, you know, Next Class season 3, Maya's depression, especially the ending of that process, was very emotional for me, because over time I actually started to really love Maya, and I think she did such a fantastic job really portraying depression and a path that depression can take you on. But anyway, I'm losing my natural light because I'm so professional that I film in front of an open window. Thanks for joining me. I know everybody has their own little moments that really touch them. So let me know what your most emotional, powerful, disturbing, sad Degrassi moment is. I love to talk Degrassi, that's why I'm here. And I will see you broomheads next time. Bye!